B2B sales isn't a skill you can just pick up by attending a workshop. It takes practice, dedication, and time to master. The problem is that the training most salespeople get isn't effective. Over 90% of workshop and seminar content is forgotten within 30 days. However, there is a better way. Unlike other sales training programs, our Momentium system combines traditional teaching techniques, an interactive sales simulator, and video conference coaching. Allowing salespeople to learn and practice new skills is what sets us apart from other training providers. Our training programs have proven to be more effective than any workshop or seminar. We improve sales forces, guaranteed. Each week, your salespeople will complete one training module, which consists of several lessons and simulated sales calls. Each module requires learners to learn new concepts, practice those concepts in simulated sales calls, and confirm their understanding in recap sessions and video conference coaching. First, the Coaching Academy contains short, interactive, and focused lessons that will teach salespeople the skills and techniques they need to be successful. We devote time to core concepts and advanced tools every salesperson needs to know. Every concept is delivered one at a time, ensuring salespeople have a chance to practice concepts before moving on to new ones. After learning a new skill, salespeople must complete a series of 3 lifelike sales calls where they open, develop, and close a deal.
Christy, what do you think is the single biggest development opportunity for your sales force?
Our team members are tech experts who traditionally relied on their tech knowledge to sell. More and more, we are dealing with non-IT people who need a different approach.
Momentium provides learners the opportunity to put techniques into practice immediately. This develops better habits leading to greater sales success. After successfully completing the sales simulation in each module, you'll review the key factors that led to the success in those sales calls. This guided reflection is crucial when it comes to creating long-term mastery. Beyond being the most effective sales training system available today, organizations that use Momentium enjoy several other benefits as well. The online training lets us track and record activity within each module. We use this information to benchmark your team's performance and show you how each of your salespeople are improving.
Time for me to introduce our third panelist. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can just hang in there. His name is Tarique Aslam Qureshi, Mr. Tarique Aslam Qureshi. Let me say that. He has over 16 plus years management experience. With the last 8 years, he has been a contributing executive in the growth of Multinet Pakistan Private Limited. He had several roles, including from senior management, deputy general management, international carrier business, and now serving as the head of international carrier business. He's an excellent professional, having proven records of effective, efficient, and smart project operations management. He's also a telecom computer systems engineer, having the expertise at design, configuration, implementation, and procurement of data and communication networks. He's technically very sound at strategic planning, designing when it comes to layout for the optical fiber, voice over IP, cable broadband, and WLL network infrastructures. This is something which you might or might not know about him. He is also a teacher. And he's a great role model for many of the students out there, since he is associated with CBM, which is a great educational institute here in Karachi, which is Institute of Business Management. And he teaches there. He teaches a variety of different subjects. So it's my honor and pleasure to introduce Mr. Tarique Aslam Qureshi, and here he is on the screen. How are you doing, sir? Tarique, can you hear me?
I'm good. Perfectly fine. Sir is totally not necessary over here. We're friends, and that's how it should continue. Glad to hear from you, Afan.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure. I had an opportunity to work, to be in the same peer-to-peer group with Tarique. So he's an excellent. I am a personal advocate to that. He brings a lot of great detail. He's very informative. He's got great knowledge, and I'm sure with his pool of knowledge and wealth of knowledge he's going to share with you, I hope it's going to be great benefits for all the audiences out here. So Tarique, I'll leave it with you. The floor is now yours, so that you can take the keynote and share it with the audience. Thank you so much. I'll catch up with you in the panel discussion after.
Great. Thank you, Irfan. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. All the attendees over here, and a hello to my fellow panelists also. Well spoken, guys. You have made it very difficult for me already, because the way you have converged on all the ideas leaves no room for me to be explaining about anything. But yet, I'll try to make an effort. So, thank you, gentlemen. It's good to be over here, given an opportunity to share my thoughts on how I see the challenges of this new world, and how I see some lucrative opportunities arriving and arising from them. So I might not be talking about what exactly is the way you will be handling the market situation, all what requires to be done as far as connecting to the customers is concerned, because we are still learning. This is a new normal. Connecting them remotely, visiting them with all the safety precautions and things like this. We're learning all that. But what I'll be highlighting about is something which pretty much converges around what kind of a sales strategy we should be adapting in such a situation that we are stuck in, and we are not sure how long will this situation continue. So here's what I look at the situation as. So I'll ask you a few questions. I know it's not a voice interactive platform, so I have to answer them these questions myself for you. What are the top challenges we, the sales teams, typically the B2B sales teams are facing today? One, we are facing it. We're facing a lot of difficulties reaching the right customers. Either the customer is not available, or he's not reachable, or he's not connectable. And then we are finding it even more difficult to get to the required customer, because maybe the gatekeeper who is listening to us for our B2B solutions is not the right one. He's not the decision maker. Then the overall sales cycle is elongating and it's becoming more and more frustrating. The requirements of the customer are expanding tremendously. All what required us to sell something in 4 weeks is now possibly taking 8 weeks, because the customers is requiring a lot of more details about the solutions we are promoting. The sales enablement itself has become a difficulty, and then the cohesion of marketing and sales team is becoming a challenge day by day. What do we do? Is it all the problems relevant to the market? Not really. I firmly believe, and that's what I've learned from the smart sales leaders around me, that possibly the problem is in our sales strategy. Maybe we need to revisit our sales strategy, especially when it comes to B2B sales. I would like to explain about this, taking you through the transition of the various sales models we have traversed across. So back in the 1970s and in the past, we have been doing the alligator way of selling: show up and throw up. Just come in front of the customer, start bragging about all the feature sets that your product or your services have, and try to knock the customer down so that he's impressed and he buys you. That's not working anymore, guys. So 1980s onwards, people have hopped over to solution selling, where we play more of a role of a consultant, talk to the customer, know their problems, and try to find a solution to their problems. So that's where we landed into the realms of solution selling, whereby we are trying to solve the customer's problems. And that's something that's prevailing since 1980. But in the new normal, even that's not something that can guarantee success for you. Here are the reasons why. Are you sure that the problems you are solving for your customers are really their problems, and especially in the new normal? Is the customer really able to comprehend what their problems are? Are these really the biggest problems that the customer is facing? No. majority of the times you'll come to the realization of the fact that the customer is talking about the problems that are not really their problems. So where do we go from here? This reminds me of a saying that one of my teacher in NED taught me about when we were going through software engineering. He explained that, guys, do not plunge into a problem where at the end of the project your customer tells you, this is exactly what I had asked for, but that's not what I wanted. So guys, this is what we need to avoid. Solution selling, where you are fulfilling a solution, a problem eradication model for your customer, might plunge you into a problem. Let's not do that. So what exactly should we be doing? Focus on the outcomes. So another teacher of mine at my business school used to teach me that whenever you are confronting a business jargon, the best way to define it is by going to the literal meanings of the words. So what is outcome? Outcome is the way that things will unfold consequentially. So this is where our focus should be as B2B sales teams. Sell outcomes. You need to enlighten the customer that what you are offering them as part of your solutions is not only an answer to the problems that they are facing, but has something bigger to achieve. You are here not to sell your product. You are here to get the customer an assurance for an outcome that their business is in demand of. Commit an outcome. Define the outcome that the customer is looking for. And that is where your success probability will increase. The customer might not even be aware of the outcome that you are trying to explain to them, but that's where smart leaders will play their role. Explain them that the outcome you are trying to promote to them is going to bring an efficiency in their system, bring the cost down, reduce the human cost requirements. Maybe sales fulfillment will improve. Maybe the time to deliver your solutions will be lesser, and maybe the customer satisfaction will grow by certain percent. According to Gartner, 50% of all the solutions that are being bought by organizations are not bought by IT teams or the front-end functional team members anymore. Who are the guys who are buying it then, buy these solutions then? These are the business owners. Now, the business owners are directly involved in the purchase of the solutions that the organization is looking for. And guess what? By the end of 2020, Gartner predicts that the business owners, the core leaders of the organization, will be 80% of those who will be taking the decisions on what exactly are the solutions that we are intending to buy. Does this make the equation even more difficult for you? No, man. This is making it even easier for you, because this time around, you are talking to the procurement specialists and supply chain managers who have graduated from the business schools and have landed into your customer organizations and taking the key roles as part of the steering committees of the organizations. And they are closely aligned to the visions, to the overall ambitions of the organizations. And they are the guys who are aware of what exactly are the outcomes demanded from the certain solutions that are being sold. So this makes your equation even better for you. And I'm telling you, in the prevailing times, in the new normal, in the midst of COVID-19 challenges, all these procurement specialists are only focusing on outcomes. So if you have evolved as a sales agent, as a sales leader who is not selling just the product, or he's not just selling just the solutions to the problems, he's actually selling the outcomes, man, you're in safe zone. So how would you evolve as a sales professional who is selling outcomes rather than just the solutions? It cannot happen overnight, man. You cannot wake up one morning and just think that you are an outcome seller today. It has to be a very smooth transition, especially when you are going to talk to your existing customers. So how would I approach the scenario where I'm going to an existing customer and yet trying to sell them the outcomes, I'll walk in to my customer's boardroom, still acting as if I'm here to sell solutions. I'll continue talking about the feature set of my product. I will continue trying to inspire my customer with the way my solutions are going to solve the problems for the customer. But just when the situation starts to boil up, just when the customer starts to engage me for the questions, comments, enquiries, or probes more about how I'm going to solve the problem, this is where I have to hop over to selling or promoting outcomes. This is where I have to engage the customer and trying to ask them, is the problem for which they are considering my solution is the biggest problem that they have? Is this the problem that they are facing in times of COVID-19? Is this the problem which is going to last long for them? Is this the problem which is really contributing to the overall efficiency of the organization in terms of cost reduction, customer satisfaction improvement, better turnaround time for the customers? Are they really focusing on the outcomes? And this is where I'm telling you, my friends, the moment the conversation transforms into a situation where you're talking about outcomes, this is where your first opportunity to crawl in comes. That's where you turn yourselves into the role of a consultant who's talking more about the outcomes that the customer is eyeing for, the outcomes that even customer might not have thought about, the outcomes that are most critical for the customer organizations, and that's where things will start made for you. But be aware, my friends, claiming any outcomes should be backed by some past proofs. Claiming any outcomes should be backed by an amalgamation of your organization, your team, and your skills, knowledge, abilities, and proven records. All the outcomes that you're claiming should be backed by proven benchmarks. They cannot just be outcomes, they have to be backed by facts. The outcomes that you're promoting should be critical to the industry. You cannot go to one industry and tell them about outcomes that they're not interested about. So you have to do your homework. That's where insightful selling comes in. Your outcomes must be substantial. Your outcomes cannot just be something very minor that the customer is not even concerned about. Your outcomes, the outcomes that you are trying to advocate should be understandable by the customer. The outcomes that you're talking about should come through the process of the same set of solutions that you're giving them. You cannot change the distribution channel or the delivery channel. The solutions should remain the same, but now their focus turns from problem solutions to an outcome to the organization, and that's where your probability of success will improve. So, what will be the key outcomes of your outcome-based sales, guys? The customer is least likely to ask you for discounts. Because the moment you're talking about the outcomes for the organizations, there goes away their concerns on what is the cost of the solutions. The discounts sought will be much less. One, the quota fulfillment will be much easier to obtain because you're given a quota to sell 100 products. When you're selling outcome-driven sales, believe me, you can fulfill your quota with less than 25 sales. Just a hypothetical number. Your increase, the win rate, the win probability increases. The deal sizes are much larger when it comes to selling outcomes. That's not in the case of solution selling. The conversion rate is much faster because now you have kept a hand on the pulse of the customer, and not just the customer organization who's looking for outcomes. And above all, my friends, the customer is retained. In the new normal, in the challenges of COVID-19, where every single customer organization is trying to get rid of all the unnecessary vendors, if you are the one who's talking to them about their outcomes, you are most likely to be retained. And if you're just retained, if you're not able to upsell or cross sell, the kind of a confidence you'll develop in their minds will ensure that you will be the first one reached out to as soon as the normalcy returns, because you are the one who's talking about the success of the organization. It goes back to the same basic that we have studied about in the business schools: customer value, customer success, customer delight, customer outcome. Focus on customer outcome. It will enable you upsell, cross sell, and if it's not enabling you to do cross sell or upsell, it will make sure that your customer is bond to you. The moment the opportunity arises, you will be the first one to whom the customer will reach, and that's where you will be the first one winning the war when the normalcy returns. So I rest my case here, my friends. Outcome driven sales is what you need to focus on in this new normal. Talk about your customer's success. Focus on your customer's outcome. Try to be a source where you are an active contributor to the customer organization's success. And there are various parameters where your existing solutions can assure that. And if you're doing that, man, you'll be loved by your customer organization. And there's one more thing. You're saving a lot of time. You're not traveling these days. We're staying at home. You're working remotely. Our client meetings are not taking us to the busiest of streets in the city. A lot of time is saved. Even your sales squad is not, at least they're not fully utilized for the whole of their 8 hours. Now they're left with a certain portion in their daily work life. This is where you, as a sales leader, need to put in your efforts. One, work out a way on how you and your sales team will evolve as an outcome-driven sales squad. Two, what is your role as a sales leader in outcome-driven sales team? Three, how would you want your sales team to be trained, mentored, improved, so that the moment they're able to reach out to their customers, they're talking about outcomes in a more efficient and an effective way. Trust me, guys, go the way of outcome-driven sales and you'll fire fast. You'll go great guns when the times return to normalcy. Rest my case here. I'll be happy to address any questions that come my way. Thank you.
Phenomenal, Tarique. Thank you so much. I love the quote from Gartner, as you rightly said, right? The business owners are the 80% of the times they are the ones who are going to be involved in decision making, and since they are the ones who are close to the organizational the initiatives and goals and overall mission and strategies, it's not the IT department anymore, right? It used to be 50% of the solutions by the others, and now it's going to be more engagement from the business owner. So that makes you think that solution sellers really have to think about becoming a outcome sellers, right? And if one needs to evolve as an outcome seller, and as you rightly said, it's not just going to happen overnight. It will require some practice. It will require some transformation. And whenever you are trying to become an outcome seller, hopefully one can be able to master it. They have to back it up with facts. So great. I love it. You know what? This is a phenomenal pieces of keynote sessions today.